What's going on, guys? It's Unknown Player here, and today we'll be going over all the things I'd recommend you do before Rise of Iron and how to basically prepare for the expansion. Obviously, this is for those of you who want to be a step ahead and hit the ground running the second the DLC launches. If you don't want to prepare and you just want to enjoy the expansion slowly, that's totally fine too. This is probably the only expansion we're getting until Destiny 2, so it's definitely important to not rush through and actually enjoy it while it lasts. But those of you who do want to be prepared, I've got some really useful tips to share with you guys of things to make sure you do before Year 3 starts, and also how to be in the best position when Rise of Iron launches. So the first and most important thing to do is to make sure you grab your best Year 2 weapons while you can. Of course, all these weapons will carry through completely into Year 3 and be fully infusible, but of course they won't be obtainable anymore, making them incredibly rare. So this is your last opportunity to get these limited edition weapons, and there are so many weapons from Year 1 that I really wish I had now, and I would love to use them right now, and I'm honestly so disappointed I dismantled them because the lack of vault space at the time. It was so tiny you physically could not hold any more items. I wish I could go back in time and grab some of those incredible Year 1 weapons. I definitely regret it, I'm sure loads of you guys do as well. But now is your time to make sure that in Year 3 you don't look back and regret not keeping any Year 2 weapons that might have been really cool. As I've said before, vault space is not going to be an issue. Bungie will be expanding the storage quickly after launch, so don't worry about that. So I'm going to list a bunch of the weapons that I definitely recommend grabbing while you can. The Hawksaw Pulse Rifle firstly from the Crucible Quartermaster, one of the best primaries in the game for sure. The Last Extremity, also from the Crucible Quartermaster. This is a really underrated weapon type, and it's basically the Jade Rabbit. So if you don't have one of those, or if you're an Xbox, grab this while you can. It's one of the best long-range weapons in the game. Also, the Ruin Wake machine gun from the Crucible Quartermaster. This is the best machine gun roll you can buy easily, so make sure you grab that as well. Now into the factions, Dead Orbit of course has the Hung Jury, which is a very, very solid scout rifle. Nowhere near the PvE God roll, it wasn't the Taken King, but of course it's still a very solid weapon. The Vacancy Fusion Rifle from Future War Cult, very strong perks and easily the best fusion rifle you can buy. And be sure to get some Arms Day weapons while you're at it as well. We still don't know anything about how Arms Day is going to work in Rise of Iron, whether there'll be new weapons or just additions, but it's probably best to get your weapons while you can if you've been holding off on them. And if there aren't any new weapons, then of course you can just carry on, there's nothing to worry about. Also, grab any armor that you really like the look of, maybe any full sets of gear that you wanted. Of course, these will never be sold again. There are some Rise of Iron gear sets that are basically reskins of the Taken King armor, but this style will never be available again, so it might be worth collecting if you like a certain set and you want to infuse it into Year 3. So into Trials of Osiris, of course this is the last Year 2 weekend, this coming weekend, September the 2nd. It's the very last one, and of course going to go away and come back later on the 30th of September. This features one of the most limited time items you can pick up in Destiny, which is the current Flawless Emblem of the cat. Of course, in Rise of Iron, there's going to be a new emblem making the cat impossible to get anymore, so making it very, very rare. I realise that most of you that have the ability to go Flawless probably already have, but I just wanted to throw out there anyway. If for whatever reason you haven't gone Flawless since the April update, maybe you've taken a break from Destiny or not had a chance to do Trials, make sure you hop on this weekend as it's your last chance to do so. So in terms of bounties, of course you want to stack up on the Trials ones that give legendary marks and save them, that'll be a massive help as well. In the remaining weeks up to the launch, you should try and hop on every day and grab any bounties that award 3000 XP, and forget the normal 2500 ones. When Rise of Iron launches, you want a full set of all 3000 rep bounties, and then also grab the Planet Reconnaissance bounties, because those not only give you 3000 XP, but also 10 planetary materials on top of that, so prioritize those as well. And the purpose of these bounties is of course to save you from sinking a bunch of motes into your gear, and it's a good way of saving motes of light and also getting efficient XP. So the next one is pretty important. This is item management. So you want to save your glimmer from the consumables. As I've always said, there's absolutely no point in exchanging these. It makes no sense if you think about it. Keeping them basically gives you another bank where you can literally save glimmer instead of the 25 cap, which normally goes to waste when it's full. As you can see, I've been saving these for ages now, and my total glimmer adds up to around 125k. I've also got 2 Royal Amethysts, which are 5k each, and a load of Radiant and Senate materials, which you can trade to the speaker for more glimmer. So when you add up on top of that, my 25k clap, I've got around 150k to 200k glimmer, which I could use at any time if I wanted. Obviously, nothing is going to require that much glimmer. That's an extreme example, but it's better than just being limited to just 25k and occasionally running out. If you've got the choice of saving, there's pretty much no reason not to. So it makes so much sense. Just save your consumables, don't trade them in, and you can open up another storage of unlimited glimmer that isn't capped at 25k. So of course on top of that you want to gather exotic shards, make sure you have a bunch of them if you're running low, that is. The best way to get exotic shards is of course buying machine guns from Blueprints. They take only around 7 or 8 motes of light to fully rank up, depending on if you have the class item boost on, but machine guns are the cheapest to rank up with motes of light. You dismantle those for 2 shards, and of course it'll cost you 1 shard to buy it in the first place, and also 2500 glimmer, so you end up spending 2500 glimmer on 1 exotic shard, and it's the cheapest way you can buy them. You can also get them from Zera, of course, but don't underestimate exotic shards. When Rise of Iron hits, we're going to be doing a bunch of infusion, especially on exotics, which cost a shard each time. They probably don't seem that valuable because you haven't had massive content that requires them in over a year, but trust me, you do need these, and make sure you have a bunch of exotic shards. So the next thing is motes and strange coins. Of course, you want to do the daily Vanguard and Crucible bounties, also a bunch of Vanguard strikes, and those will give you blue engrams, which decode into motes or coins, and then also turning in all those blue engrams to the Cryptarch is going to rank him up, which guarantees 4 motes and 4 strange coins on every package. So of course you want a bunch of motes and coins. They're basically the fundamental currency of Destiny, so you want to have those as high as possible going into it. So of course, on top of that, you want to stock up on engrams. That's another big thing. Save up on exotic and legendary ones for the Cryptarch rep, but especially you want to save the exotic ones because those give you a chunk of Cryptarch rep. Obviously, you're not looking to get the gear out of them, and don't save engrams for the purpose of getting year 3 items. They're not going to drop into year 3 items if you get them before the Rise of Iron. But if you save a bunch of these engrams, you can rank up your Cryptarch, and then boom, right there you got a bunch of legendary items within minutes of the expansion launching. You should also basically stop dismantling any spare legendaries that you normally would and put them in your vault, cram it with legendaries until it's basically full or nearly full with a few items free. And it goes without saying you should make sure your cap of 200 legendary marks is also full, and saving legendaries in the vault is similar to the Glimmer thing. It lets you save up an extra storage of marks without going over that 200 cap. Of course, you also want to edge your factions, which means getting them in terms of rep to pretty much the edge where they're about to rank up, and then when the DLC launches, you rank them all up and get a bunch of packages. Not really much point in doing it right now. You should probably wait until a few days before the expansion, and then of course when it launches, you'll be ready to get a bunch of packages and a bunch of legendary gear. And the final thing is pretty simple, and this is to make sure you know who your raid team is. Grab those 5 other people and make sure you all know what the plan is to tackle the raid, assuming you want to attempt it on the day it launches on the Friday. This is going to save you a bunch of last minute messaging and trying to find an extra person if you're missing one. Find out what the plans are and make sure you have your raid team together, because it's definitely going to require some coordination. And in the 3 days before it launches, you can of course split into 2 teams of 3 and get all the missions and strikes done, and generally level up with all the quests. So that is my guide on how to best prepare for Rise of Iron and things you should make sure you do before it launches. Hope you guys found it helpful. If you did, a like rating would be much appreciated. Comment down below what you're excited for and how you're getting on preparing for the expansion. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.